ao lớp. Hello, and welcome to Introduction to CRM with HubSpot. My name is Abby, and today we will be working together to develop and utilize HubSpot's CRM platform. If you take a look at my screen, you will see that HubSpot is a cloud-based customer relationship management, also known as CRM, platform that can improve all aspects of your business. The HubSpot CRM is a launching pad to all other customer-facing teams as it houses all customer data ranging from contact information to detailed communication logs. HubSpot allows you to incorporate your sales, marketing, and customer aspects of your relationship management, also known as CRM, platform that can improve all aspects of your business. The HubSpot CRM is a launching pad to all other customer-facing teams as it houses all customer data ranging from contact information to detailed communication logs. HubSpot allows you to incorporate your sales, marketing, and customer service processes into one all-inclusive platform with their CRM as the main foundation. With its user-friendly features, HubSpot allows you to easily manage and grow your customers, as well as improve your business relationship with existing customers. Best of all, HubSpot CRM is completely free. With Grow Better as their mantra, HubSpot has mastered the CRM game. Also, as a platform, HubSpot is able to easily sync and work with other platforms, which allows you to incorporate every aspect of your business to better streamline and manage your company. HubSpot is an invaluable tool that is sure to improve your company's growth, productivity, and brand. So let's get started on our project. We're going to focus on the very basic features in establishing a CRM account. Since this program is so all-inclusive, it would take weeks to fully dive into each and every corner of the program. Therefore, we are going to work our way through the main free features, so by the end of the project, you are comfortable and confident enough to start your own HubSpot CRM platform for your free features. So by the end of the project, you are comfortable and confident enough to start your own HubSpot CRM platform for your company. Main free features, so by the end of the project, you are comfortable and confident enough to start your own HubSpot CRM platform for your company. All right, so the first thing we're going to need to do is create an account. On the left-hand side of your screen, the HubSpot sign-up page should be available to you. If you already have a HubSpot account, please click on the Sign In button at the top. However, if you need to create a HubSpot account, this is the page where you can do it. You can either sign up with Google by clicking on the button in the middle of the screen, or at the bottom, you can enter your first, last name, and your email address. Go ahead and pause the video now and then continue the video once you have verified your email address and created a password. Next, it will ask us for a company domain and a company name. For the purpose of this project, we're going to use Coursera as our sample company. So for the company domain, I'm going to type in Coursera.com, and then for the company name, I'm going to type in Coursera. Once we have green check marks on both of our options, we know we're good to go, and then we're going to click the orange Next button to continue. For the last step to set up our account, we need to input a little more information. First, it's going to ask us how many people work for our company. I'm going to pick the 11 to 25, so go ahead and do the same. Next, it will ask us what field we work in. I'm going to pick the sales option. Next, we will be asked which of the following best describes us. I'm going to pick the administrator and operations option. And then the last question, number 4, is going to ask us which of these sound most like you. So even if you have used a CRM platform before, or if you already are familiar with HubSpot, I would still like everyone to go ahead and click the I have never used a CRM before option. That way it'll give you the most demo options once you're in there, so you can decide if you want to dive in a little further. So we're going to go ahead and click it. And once we have a check mark next to all 4 pieces of information, we're going to click the orange Finish Sign Up button at the bottom. Okay, so once we have signed in, we will be prompted to start a demo. So please pause the video now to complete the demo, and then resume the video once you have completed the demo and are officially in the main CRM platform. All right, so now that you have finished the demo, you were able to see each aspect of the HubSpot platform and how it works in sync to allow potential customers and existing customers to seamlessly transfer from one team to the next. So from initial contact to closing the sale, HubSpot can do it all. While the main CRM portion of the HubSpot platform is free, there are a few features that require you to pay. However, for the purpose of this video, we're only going to focus on the forever free features of the program. But before we move on to the next task, I want to become a little more familiar and better acquainted with the HubSpot platform and the layout. So let's take a look at the top of our screen. If you click on the HubSpot icon, we will have a menu drop down, and this is going to be how we navigate between the main portions of the platform. So at the top, you'll notice contacts, and then another drop down will appear. And this will help us again navigate back and forth. If we go back up to the menu, we also have the option for conversations, our marketing team, sales team, service team. There's even an option to add in automation and then to view reports. You may also notice as you click through the menu, for example, the automation menu, as you click on the different options, there will be some icons that appear on the right-hand side. And each one of those icons represents a different plan that you have to be on in order to have access to these particular features. So again, while a good portion of the program is completely free, just make sure that as you are exploring that we stray away from areas with these icons, because for the purpose of this project, we're going to be primarily focusing on the free features. And that's it. You are officially finished with task 1. Hopefully it was short and sweet. And you are now ready to move on to task 2, where we will learn and practice how to input new contacts. See you soon. Hello, and welcome back. In this task, we are going to learn how to add and edit contacts. Contacts can fall into a number of categories, including potential customers and existing customers. They can also include individuals or companies, all of which you can specify when inputting your contact information. So let's get started on this task. If you've logged out of HubSpot between the previous task and this one, please pause the video now to log back in, and then resume the video once you're back onto the main dashboard. All right, before we get started adding in our contacts, let's first add another member to our team. And in order to do that, we're going to go to the top navigation bar and scroll over to the right and click on the gear icon, which is our settings. Then on the far left side, if we scroll all the way to the bottom, we can select users and teams. And when we open it up, you should just see your name and email address, which is okay because we just opened it. But we do want to add a couple additional team members. So in order to do that, we're going to go over to the Create User button and click on it. And on this screen, we have the option to enter in an email address manually, or if you're a new company that's trying to add a lot of new members at the same time, a faster option would be to upload a file. For the purpose of this project, I'm only going to add in a couple email addresses, so I'm going to use this bar right here. So if you have a friend you want to invite, a family member, even a second email address, feel free to include it here. I'm going to go ahead and do rhyme development 3. And then from here, if I wanted to enter another address, I can click the comma button and it'll automatically pop it up top. And then when I add another one, I can again click comma or hit return or enter on my keyboard, and it'll put both of them up top. So once we have the email addresses in for the new team members we'd like to invite, I'm going to click on the orange next button. From here, we have a wide variety of options to choose from in regards to what we want to give our team members access to. So again, you'll notice there are a lot of things to choose from, and at the top, there are even more specifics for each of the main pages that they will have access to if you'd like them to have access to. So go ahead and pause the video now to further explore these options, and then resume the video when you're ready to move on. Okay, so now that we were able to explore the different options that we have, and then on my keyboard, and it'll put both of them up top. So once we have the email addresses in for the new team members we'd like to invite, I'm going to click on the orange next button. From here, we have a wide variety of options to choose from in regards to what we want to give our team members access to. So again, you'll notice there are a lot of things to choose from, and at the top, there are even more specifics for each of the main pages that they they will have access to if you'd like them to have access to. So go ahead and pause the video now to further explore these options, and then resume the video when you're ready to move on. Okay, so now that we were able to explore the different options that we have, I'm going to stick with the default options for the purpose of this project, and then click on the orange Next button at the bottom. Then for the last step, it's going to let you double check to make sure these are the email addresses you would like to send the invite to. If these are accurate, then we're going to hit the orange Send button. So it tells us at the top that 2 users were added, and then we'll see them listed here on the Users tab beneath our name. Now, for right now, it still has our email address listed as their name, and that will change as soon as they get the activation email. So once they open up the email, they'll have the option to input their name as well as to create a password. And then when they do that, their name will appear here as opposed to their email address. Okay, so now that we have created additional users or team members, we now have the ability to assign them to contacts. So in order to do that, we first want to go into our contacts information and create some new contacts. So to get to our contacts, we're going to select contacts from the top navigation bar and then click on contacts again. I'll be saying that word a lot. And from here, we only have 2 listed and a couple sample ones, which is perfect. Before we create a new contact, let's go ahead and start with one of our sample ones so we can learn exactly what options we have as far as what information we can add to their profiles. So I'm going to click on the cool robot. And when I do, all of the information is going to appear here. So if you take a step back, it can be a lot to look at. However, that's a good thing because it shows us just how capable this program is of storing all relevant information we could possibly need for this contact. So let's start on the left and work our way over as we explore this page. So on the left-hand side, we've got name, email, phone number, so basic contact information. We also have the option here to add an owner for this contact. So if I drop down, you'll see your name at the top, but you'll also see the 2 names that we just added. So I'm going to go ahead and assign it to them. And the reason it's beneficial to assign it to one of our team members is to make sure this contact does not fall through the cracks. And when I made a change, you'll notice at the bottom, there's a save button that appears saying that I have one property that has not saved. Make sure you click that save button or it will go away when we leave this screen. All right, so if I scroll back up, there are 6 different circle icons here, some of which are actually mimicked up here in these tabs. And this is how we're going to log all of the information about any form of contact we've had with this contact. So the first option is a note, very self-explanatory. You can leave a note. You can also create a task to follow up based on the note. Let's exit out of that. We also have the option to create an email, and you can connect it to your email account so it's all logged here. We can even call. I'm not connected to it now, but that's an option to do that as well. And then we can even log a call, an email, or a meeting. We can create a task, which would include due dates, notes. We can assign it to another team member, mark a priority as high if it's a really important one, and we can also specify the type. I'm going to exit out of that. We actually have a task pulled up right here. Looks like it's overdue, and we can also select it as complete by simply clicking on the check mark. All right, and then the last one is meet. So in order to schedule a meeting, you can determine the people in attendance, the start time, the duration. You can attach a document if you need to include a meeting agenda. Again, the options are pretty endless here. And then check mark. All right, and then the last one is meet. So in order to schedule a meeting, you can determine the people in attendance, the start time, the duration. You can attach a document if you need to include a meeting agenda. Again, the options are pretty endless here. And then this first tab right here is going to be activity. So pretty much anything that has been added or created for this contact will appear here. And then in order to get into the specifics, again, at the top, you'll have a running log of any notes here. And you can also create a new note from here, as well as the icons over specifics. And then this first tab right here is going to be activity. So pretty much anything that has been added or created for this contact will appear here. And then in order to get into the specifics, again, at the top, you'll have a running log of any notes here. And you can also create a new note from here, as well as the icons over here. So lots to look at. Go ahead and pause the video now to explore these different options. I would like you to try to create something for each of these 6 categories. Obviously, you can't really send an email or a call, but make sure you're familiar with how to do that if you click on it. And then when you are happy with your work, go ahead and resume the video. These different options, I would like you to try to create something for each of these 6 categories. Obviously, you can't really send an email or a call, but make sure you're familiar with how to do that if you click on it. And then when you are happy with your work, go ahead and resume the video. On the left-hand side, you can actually select the life cycle stage. So if we want to change it to a subscriber or just an opportunity, an evangelist, all of those are options over here. Just make sure whenever you click on anything on this left-hand side that you save it. The rest of the information will automatically be logged. And then on the right-hand side, we've got a couple other options here. All the deals will be referenced over here, and we'll get to that in a couple tasks. We also have the opportunity to check out any tickets for any service needs that they had, upload attachments, and also include any type of membership for mailings and things that they're a part of. Also at the top, we can link them to a company. So if we have multiple contacts from the same company, this is a great way to be able to identify that. Okay, so now to get back to our main contacts, we're going to click on the contact button. And let's try to add our own contact this time. And in order to do that, we're going to click on the orange Create Contact button. I'm going to leave the email blank, but type in the name here. I'm going to do Zane Ziegler, and we can put in a title, a phone number, and then we also have the option down here to, again, select the lifecycle stage as well as the lead status. So I'm going to say this is a new lead and then create contact. Once I do that, once again, we will be redirected to their main contact page where you have the ability to edit everything that we just discussed. So again, go ahead and pause the video. Feel free to click around. Again, practice adding notes or logging, contact information or changing any of the contact's information on the left-hand side, and then resume the video when you're finished. Nice work. We are officially finished with task 2 and are ready to move on to task 3, where we will create a deal for our contacts and move them through the sales. Welcome back. In this task, we are going to create a deal and move that deal through the sales pipeline. So let's jump right in. If you have logged out of HubSpot between the previous task and this one, please pause the video now to log back in. Once you are back on the main HubSpot page, please resume the video. So there are a couple different ways to add a new deal, and one of the ways is through our contacts information. So if you are on the main contact screen, we are going to be working with Zane Ziegler. So go ahead and click on their name. And over on the right-hand side, you will see a variety of options, and we want to hone in on the deals portion of it. Click on the blue add button, and when we do, we have the option to add a new deal to this contact. So the default will be to create a new deal. However, if there is an existing deal, we can add it here, but since it's our first deal, let's stick with a new one. The deal name will automatically default to the contact name - new deal, which I think is appropriate for this particular deal we're creating. It'll automatically put it in the sales pipeline. You also have the option here to select the deal stage. In this case, the appointment being scheduled is the first stage, so that's what we want to put here. Next, we have the option to put in an amount. I'm going to put in $500 for this example, and it will automatically change to a dollar amount once we click off of it. We also need to change the close date. So in my case, it's only 2 days away from now. I'm going to give it a month and say that by June 26th we'll close. Next, we have the option to put in the deal owner. I'm going to leave myself as the owner. And then we have a deal type. So is it new business or existing business? For this example, I'm going to say new business. And then if we scroll further down, we would have the option to link it to a company, which we won't do right now, but we may do in an upcoming example. And we can also link it to a contact. So when we create a deal, it's going to create a new page for that deal. And a way that we can still keep track of our contact and the activity we've had with them is by selecting this option to add the timeline activity for that content or that contact. And if we click down, we can click up to 30, 60, 90 days, all of it, or even select a custom date if we want a shorter time period. All right, so I am going to select it because I think it's important that we have that contact information in there. And then once we have filled in all of those options, we're going to click the orange Create button. And when we do, it's laid out very similarly to the contact information. However, now it's over in the sales pipeline. So in theory, once the contacts are all located and centered within the CRM, then we can send it through creating deals to the sales department, which is exactly where it is right now. So you'll see here again, it's got the close date, the different stage that it's in. If we wanted to change that, we could simply drop down and click. And when we do, you'll notice that the lines will fill in to show that we are now qualified to buy. I'm going to change it back for now so I can show you another way to move that later. We've got more information about the deal. Once again, if we wanted to change something, we need to make sure to save it. I'm going to click cancel because we want it to go back to how it was. And then when we scroll over, we've got another similar activity view here, notes, emails, a whole separate link. However, it will still carry over any contact information that we had, or I should say communication information we had from the client Zane. And then over on the right-hand side, you'll see his contact at the top. And then again, we've got options to add additional things for this contact or this deal. So at this time, feel free to pause the video so you can look around and explore, and then resume the video once you have had the option or the ability to add in additional information. Okay, so now that we were able to explore this content, and again, it should look similar to the contact, let's click this deals portion up top. You can see the little hands shaking. And when we do that, it's going to bring us back to all of our existing deals. So in theory, if this were a fully functioning CRM, we would have a large number of deals deals that were in the works. And so one of the ways that we can quickly sift through it is by using these different options up top. You can go through and select this were a fully functioning CRM, we would have a large number of deals that were in the works. And so one of the ways that we can quickly sift through it is by using these different options up top. You can go through and select a number of filters. So again, we only have one right now. It's easy to look through them all. But when it gets very heavy in the way of deals, that's a great way to quickly get to what we're looking for. We can also at the top go to your deals specifically. So again, if everyone's deal is listed under all deals, this is a great way to hone in on what you are responsible for. And you can also add the view or all views as well. Then the next thing I want to point out is this drop-down option. These are all the pipelines here, but if we wanted to specify sales pipeline, then it'll again pull up just the sales, which again, we only have one, so it's not a problem. Okay, so now that we have created a deal that way, let's go ahead and create a deal using the Create Deal button. And so it's a very similar concept. Again, we have to create the name. The main thing here is that I want to show you, you can actually search for companies or for a contact. So if we wanted to search companies like Hubspot, we can type it in and click on it. And then let's say we want to look up our robot client. Again, we can search for him and select him from the dropdown. It's like I accidentally selected him twice. All right, so we selected the robot, and then again, you can add the timeline activity for the company and the contact, or one or the other. So go ahead and pause the video now and practice inputting this information. There's no right or wrong deal name, so go with whatever sounds good to you. And then resume the video after you create it. All right, nice work. We have officially added in a second deal. And again, at the top, we can quickly change the stage that it's in so we can see the progress as it goes. We can also create tasks, keep track of any calls, emails. Options are very available to meet any of the needs that we have for this particular deal. All right, and that is it. You have officially finished this task and are ready to move on to task number 4. where we will look to expand our contacts by creating a marketing email. See you soon. Welcome back. In Task 4, we are going to create a marketing email to send to our subscriber contacts. Sending marketing emails can help to expand your company's brand and ensure that your contacts are well aware of any new or existing products or services that may meet their needs. There's a lot to explore in this task, so let's get started. If you have logged out of HubSpot between the previous task and this one, please pause the video now to log back in. Once you are back on the main HubSpot page, please resume the video. At the top of the screen, we want to first click on the Marketing tab. When we do, you'll notice that landing pages and social both have paid-for features. So for the purpose of this project, we're going to focus on the free options. The first one I would like you to click on is Ads. And This feature is a tremendous way for your marketing team to keep track of the. If you have logged out of HubSpot between the previous task and this one, please pause the video now to log back in. Once we are back on the main HubSpot page, please resume the video. At the top of the screen, we want to first click on the Marketing tab. When we do, you'll notice that landing pages and social both have paid-for features. So for the purpose of this project, we're going to focus on the free options. The first one I would like you to click on is Ads. And this feature is a tremendous way for your marketing team to keep track of the advertisements that are turning potential contacts into customers. From here, you can connect your accounts and post ads directly from the HubSpot platform. So again, just click Create Accounts if you are interested. We're not going to do it for this particular project. However, there is an option to see a quick demo, which would be really helpful for you to get a full idea of exactly what this part of the program is capable of. So please pause the video now to check out the quick demo and resume the video when you're finished. All right, next up is going to be the Forms option under the Marketing tab. So at the very bottom, go ahead and click on it. And forms are little informational windows that can. Next up is going to be the Forms option under the Marketing tab. So at the very bottom, go ahead and click on it. And forms are little informational windows that can appear on your screen when you're exploring a website. So I'm sure you all have seen them pop up when you've been exploring the web. You can select a template, so anything from an embedded form to a standalone page. It can even slide in from either direction. And once you have selected it, you want to click the Next button. And you have the option to in from either direction. And once you have selected it, you want to click the Next button. And you have the option to create it here, and allows you to create a blank template, edit it. You've got a variety of options. So that is another great thing that they can provide. And one of the great things about a form is that it gets your company name out there. It can pop up on a website and allows them to easily input their contact information to allow you to add them to your contact list. So last, but certainly not least, I would like to take you to the email section. So go ahead and go to Marketing and Email. And then for the marketing email, we are going to want to create a new one. So in order to create a new email, we're going to click on the orange Create Email option. I do want to point out that you may also have an error message on your screen, and that's okay. Since we are using this for the purpose of this project, we haven't inputted a lot of information about our company since it's a fictitious company that we're utilizing. So this is okay. Just go ahead and ignore that for now. We'll still be able to complete this task without it. So go ahead and click on the orange Create Email button. And when you do, you have the option to be kind of guided through it, or we can explore by doing, which I think is a good way to go. You'll notice that there are a number of templates to choose from. I'm going to select the newsletter option. However, if one of them looks better to you than another, feel free to select it. And when I click on it, it will open it up on our editing screen. All right, so again, we have a little error message, and that's okay. We're going to go ahead and exit out. And from here, you'll notice we have two different tabs on the left-hand side. We have Content and we have Design. So the content is things that we're able to click and drag over to our email to add them. So quickly, let's check out the email portion. You'll notice as I scroll over each section, it's highlighted in kind of a blue teal color. And so what that is telling us is that each of those options are able to be edited. So if we wanted to just click inside the box in order to edit it, we can work on the font or the content. We can edit the buttons. If we want to enter a URL, we can remove it. We can replace the pictures. So there are a number of ways to edit this. Also, sometimes you'll notice there's a hand that appears. This allows us to move individual components, or in this case, if the whole thing is highlighted, we can move entire sections to different parts of the email. So lots of great editing features. If we scroll over an item, for example, the picture, and we stay for a little long or a couple seconds longer, we have the option to edit it, edit the layout with the pencil, duplicate it, or eliminate it altogether. Also, if we go to the editing feature, it will automatically pull it up over on the left-hand side for us to adjust. So I'm going to go back, and then with content, if we wanted to add something, so let's say I wanted to add a divider, I can simply click and drag, and the teal line will appear where it's going to drop it. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it there. We can again edit those features. If we linger over it for a little longer, we can edit, change the length, move it around. And then the other option I want to show you is going to be a social option. So if I click and drag that, we can actually link our social media accounts, which is a great way to, again, continue branding your company and get additional exposure to your potential contacts. And over here, we can link them so that they go right to where we want them to go. All right, so then the next portion over here is design, and this is more focused on colors and text styles. We can add different buttons and change the colors, add dividers. So two very different tabs, but both equally as important to getting this email to look the way we want it to. So the next thing I want to show you is if we click on an image, for example, again, it'll pull up additional editing options on the left-hand side. If I go to click on the image to replace it, it will say that we can either upload a file, and at the bottom, there's an option to design, to click on the image. If I go to click on the image to replace it, it will say that we can either upload a file, and at the bottom, there's an option to design with Canva. Again, since we can't send an email just yet, it's not an option, but Canva is an amazing free resource for pictures, videos, banners. It's a great way to really spice up your email template. So I'm going to exit out of here, and at this time, I want you to pause the video and get this looking the way that you would like it to. And when you're happy with your work, go ahead and resume the video, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now that we are happy with our email, we're going to rename it at the top and just click on the pencil icon. And I'm going to rename mine May Newsletter 2020. And then when I click outside the box, it'll save it. And then the next step that we're going to do is going to be in settings. And so for settings, it's going to have who it comes from. And again, we can edit this so that it's appropriate to the audience we're sending it to. We can also create a subject line. So whatever we want it to pop up as a subject, we would put we would put here. And we also have the ability to do a preview text. Edit this so that it's appropriate to the audience we're sending it to. We can also create a subject line. So whatever we want it to pop up as a subject, we would put here. And we also have the ability to do a preview text. So that way, if just a little blurb pops up on their email line, we'll be able to get all the necessary information in the way we want it. Then down at the bottom, we have the option to pick a subscription type. So marketing is the only one we have. But if we have certain contacts that have subscribed for promotions, for example, we could add that as a subscription type and then really hone in on that particular audience. And so once we are happy with this information, we want to click on Send or Schedule. And again, we can select recipients. We don't have any that are eligible since we were using fictitious contacts. And then over on the right-hand side, we can either send now or schedule for later. And then also you'll notice that we can send up to 2,000 emails for free every month. So this will keep a running total of how many we've sent so that we can make sure that we're well within that limit, which hopefully with 2,000 emails won't be an issue. Then when we are ready, we can click Review and Schedule. It'll give us a number of warnings for things that we need to link. So for example, I didn't link my different social media accounts because again, it's a fictitious company that I'm working with. So once we check those out, we're going to click Preview. And with Preview, it'll show us exactly what it'll look like on the email. And then if we scroll down, it'll even show us a preview on a cell phone. So that way we can make sure it's properly formatted for any type of platform that our contacts will view the email on. So once we are happy with that, we are all set. Again, we're not actually going to send it since this is a fictitious account that we're using, but at least that way, when you're ready to do it for your own company, you know what to do. And then we're going to click Exit to get back to the main screen. And the last thing I want to show you is this Analyze option, which is a new feature. And the great thing about for your own company, since this is a fictitious account that we're using, but at least that way, when you're ready to do it for your own company, you know what to do. And then we're going to click Exit to get back to the main screen. And the last thing I want to show you is this Analyze option, which is a new feature. And the great thing about Analyze, and again, we don't have data in here right now since we haven't sent email, but it gives you the ability to check out the numbers for your recipient engagement, how many emails were sent versus actually opened, delivery, and then it also has different data charts that can help you see how effective your emails are in creating new contacts and new leads for sales. And that is it. You have officially completed task 4. And when you're ready, join me in the 5th and final task where we will work on our dashboard. Task 4, delivery. Now, since we have a feature, you know what to do. And then we're going to click exit to get back to the main screen. And the last thing I want to show you is this analyze option, which is a new feature. And the great thing about analyze, and again, we don't have data in here right now since we haven't sent email, but it gives you the ability to check out the numbers for your recipient engagement, how many emails. Final task where we will work on our dashboard. Welcome back. In this task, we are going to customize the dashboard library to better manage our reports. Dashboards allow us to pick and choose what data we would like to view, providing a one-stop shop for all our data and informational needs. We have a lot of options to choose from, so let's jump right in. If you have logged out of HubSpot between the previous task and this one, please pause the video now to log back in and resume the video once you are back on the main homepage. So first thing first, we need to navigate to our dashboard library. So in order to get there, we're going to go into the upper left-hand corner and click on the HubSpot icon. And when we do, we'll be redirected to our dashboard library. On the left-hand side, you'll see that we have a number of options to choose from. So all dashboards at the top, followed by sales, marketing, service, and CMS. So if you have a certain report in mind, we can easily click through the reports listed here. So if I go to sales, for example, all of the different dashboard templates will show up for us. You'll see on each one that they are labeled and they also have a short description with them. It's also important to keep in mind that these are not actually individual reports. They're actually a compilation of multiple reports to make the dashboard of your report. So for example, Sales Manager, you actually start with a dashboard of 8 different reports that focuses on your sales team performance. So these descriptions are really beneficial so you can kind of get an idea of exactly what all is included within this dashboard. You'll also notice there are picture icons to generally show you the types of infographics and charts that are available for these dashboards. And so again, if there's something for a particular department you have in mind, you can sort them based on the departments, or by selecting all dashboards, you can look at all the different options available to you. So go ahead and pause the video now to further explore these options. Again, there are a lot of them, so make sure you're reading the description so you can kind of get a general feel of the different options that we have, and then resume the video once you're finished exploring. Okay, so now that you have a better idea of our options for the dashboard, let's go ahead and practice creating a dashboard so we can see how that process looks. So let's say I want to really focus on sales opportunities. So instead of scrolling through all of the dashboards, I can simply come over, click on sales, and I've got the sales opportunity review. sales, sales rep. So we're going to go with the sales opportunity review. And when we select it, you'll notice that more detailed information about this dashboard appears on the right-hand side of our screen. And this is a really cool thing because although it includes all of these templates within the dashboard, we do not have to select all of them. So from here, we can pick and choose what reports we would like to include in the dashboard and which ones we'd like to leave out. So for the purpose of the example, I'm going to leave them all just so we can see all the reports. But if you're interested in leaving some of these reports off of your dashboard, simply click the checkbox to deselect that option. So go ahead and make sure they're all selected for now, just so that we can see what we're working with. And then we're going to click on the next button in the bottom right-hand corner. Now on this screen, again, we're still under the Create Dashboard mode, so we have the opportunity to rename our dashboard. So if there's a certain sales team in particular that we want to pull the reports from, we're able to rename that here under the dashboard name. You'll also notice beneath the name that we have the access to change the privacy for it, so we can either have it private just to you if it's something that you want to check on personally but don't want your team to have access to, or you can provide it for everyone. And even if you give access to everyone, again, you've got the option for them just to look at it or for them to edit it. So depending on the goal of what you're trying to accomplish by sharing this dashboard, you can select one of those options if one's more appropriate than the other. So once we're happy with our selection and our dashboard name, we're going to click on the orange Create Dashboard button. All right, and then once we have created it, you'll see here on the main dashboard Sales Opportunity Review page, we've got all of our information available to us. Now, since we've only added a couple of contacts and a couple of sales, there isn't going to be a ton of data to choose from. However, this will only become more and more helpful the more data that we can provide for it. The next thing I want to show you is if we'd like to add an additional report to this dashboard, we can simply go up into the upper right-hand side of the screen and click on the orange Add Report button. So from here, we have 85 different reports to choose from. Obviously, from here, and click on the orange Add Report button. So from here, we have 85 different reports to choose from. Obviously, that is a lot of different options. So in order to narrow it down, we can actually come through and select the different report types or the different types of content we'd like included in the report. So as you can see, if I want to click on calls and contacts, it narrows it down to only 18 results, which will help us hone in on the reports that we think will be the most beneficial for the dashboard we're trying to add them to. So once you find a report that you would like, so let's say I'm going to do the calls placed total by reps, I can click on the Save Report option. And when I do, again, it has the opportunity for us to rename it. We can decide to add it to an existing dashboard. So right here, we could drop down and select from the dashboards we've created. We only have one, so the sales opportunity is on the Save Report option. And when I do, again, it has the opportunity for us to rename it. We can decide to add it to an existing dashboard. So right here, we could drop down and select from the dashboards we've created. We only have one, so the sales opportunity is where we'd want to add it. Or we can not add it to a dashboard and have it as a freestanding report. So again, those options are completely up to you as to how you'd like to organize your platform. Or we can also add to a new dashboard and create a new one as we save this report. So I'm going to go ahead and add to the existing dashboard, and then I'm going to click the Save and Add button in the bottom right-hand side. Okay, and as you can see, there's a notification that it was added. So we're all set there. So now that we have created a dashboard and added another report to our dashboard, if we scroll back up and click on the HubSpot icon again, we'll be redirected redirected back to our dashboard. So at the top, you'll see the dashboard we just created, the sales opportunity review. However, if we also wanted to go through and make a dashboard for the marketing team, we could click this drop-down arrow and then select from the dashboard the marketing dashboard that we've created. So at this time, go ahead and pause the video, and we're going to create another dashboard and then see how that looks on the drop-down menu. So once you've added another dashboard for whatever looks appealing to you, resume the video. Okay, so now that we've added another dashboard at the top, you'll see when we select the drop-down option, we've got both our sales and our marketing review options right here. So we are all set. So the last thing that I want to show you before we end this project is to scroll over to the right-hand side and select the drop-down arrow next to actions. So from here, we can either choose to clone the dashboard and create an identical one. We can even change the owner. We can clearly edit it. We can also copy the URL and send it to people that we would like to view it, so our colleagues or our coworkers. And then you also have the opportunity to email the dashboard as well. And then if we're ready to remove it, if we no longer need it, we can also delete it here. And that is it. You have officially completed this project and are hopefully much more comfortable and confident navigating the basic features of the HubSpot CRM platform. I hope you enjoyed taking this course as much as I enjoyed creating it. Have a great day. Thank you.